Hey guys, happy Baby Name Monday. I'm SJ and I host Baby Name Mondays here on YouTube every single week. Thanks so much for clicking on this video. This is going to be your curated list again. So my viewers have been writing brand new boy names. I have popped my top 21 together for you. These names are mashups of names, different spellings of names, words that make great names for boys, and they're all really unique and unusual and very wearable though. They're not too weird, even though my threshold for weird names, as you know, is probably more than most, hence why I do this video. So do stick around to hear all of the names. I'll also be letting you know our favourite name from the girls made up name list, which was up on my channel from last week. You can click and watch that one afterwards. There was one that came out really high on top. So once I've done the boys list, I do want you to let me know your top 1 or 2 names from this list in the comments section below. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and put it out there as a bit of a press release, because we've had so much press on this channel, like even the Late Late Show, James Corden talked about one of our articles, Grazia Magazine, Oprah Mag, we get tons of press. So I would love to put these out there as like brand new names and see if we get into the press with them. It would be so funny to actually see if these names become popular wearable names because of us. That would be cool. Also, do let me know below how you came across this channel. Are you pregnant and looking to name a little baby 1, 2 or 3? I've got triplet names coming up next week, so I'm helping a viewer name her triplets. Are you a writer or something like that? Or are you 16? This popped up in your recommended watch list and you're thinking, wow, Saoirse Ronan's gone downhill. She's making baby name videos on YouTube now. No, it is SJ. This is what I do. And you're very welcome. Do say hello to each other in the comments below. Help us make up names and just have fun. It's all in the name of fun. So let me get on with my list. Got that song in my head. Okay, the first name that you came up with I really like, and it is the name Jaspin. So like Jasper, but Jaspin. And I think that sounds so cool. Like Justin has been around for a very long time. It's quite a traditional name. You might have a Justin or a Jasper already in your family. And Jaspin goes really nicely. It sounds a little bit more trendy, a little bit more unique, but not weird. What do you think of Jaspin? Or you could go with the name Balonor. So Balonor is kind of like a boy version of Eleanor, or Eleanor, which I love that name. I love it when you have the or ending, Eleanor. If I was an Eleanor, I would always say I'm Eleanor, be annoying like that. So Balonor, what do you think of that? It sounds like a kind of surname name, but not quite. Balonor. So there is a character called Balonor in the Merlin TV show. So it does have that sort of elf-like quality, but it is kind of been made up for that show, and it's somebody with very special powers. So what do you think, Balonor? It's not being used in the real world yet, so you could get in there and have a little Balonor of your own. Somebody else used the name Jasper and combined Jasper and River to make Jover. I really liked that. I like by Jove. I think you've done it. Oh, told you it was cool over here. Yeah, I thought Jover does sound really cool. I think the V, obviously Oliver is one of our most popular boy names and has been the top name in the UK for years and years. So Jover, why not? The next couple are just words that make great names, and I loved them, so I wanted to include them on this list. Number 1 is the name Charleston. So obviously Charles is a really wearable normal name. Charlie as a nickname, so if you really like that, but you're thinking, oh, I like Charlie, but I'm not too keen on Charles, and you wanted a longer form, Charleston. So Charleston is obviously a dance as well, so if you're a dancer, it sounds like a name place as well, Charleston. So I really liked that. Another one sticking with the place kind of theme. It's very strong and sturdy to be named after like a place. It's very grounding, I guess, and I really like the idea of the name Boulevard. Somebody had recommended Boulevard. It again has that kind of 1920s retro cool to it because of Sunset Boulevard. We don't have boulevards here in England. Is that just a US thing, a boulevard? I mean, you would get a few eye rolls, I think, if you were called Boulevard. You'd be like, oh really? Oh. But I like it, and I think some people love daring names, and why not Boulevard? The next I think works super duper well though, and it's again sort of a place thing, but it's the name Horizon. That works so well. It's kind of Harry-esque. Horizon, but with the strong Z that we really like. And I think, you know, like it's got that sort of whimsical thing to it, Horizon. I think that works really, really well. Probably more wearable than Boulevard. What do you think? Charleston, Boulevard or Horizon, are they names? Are they just words to you? Or could you see them actually being used for a little boy? So back up to mashups of names or just super duper invented names. Somebody has invented the name Jolion. Jolion, so it's like Joe and Lee, two sort of classic short boy names put together. Jolion, and Leon of course is a name itself as well. Jolion. It's quite cool, isn't it? Jolie, Angelina Jolie, I don't know, it's a good one. Jolion, Jolian, Julian, Julian. Mum would be going, is your name Julian? But I do really like it and it looks so nice written down. Brigham. Brigham is cool. It's a surname name that this viewer thought could make a great first name, and I agree. I think that Brigham is really cool, and as she's put, it could be Briggs for short, which I think is so lovely. It reminds me a little bit of Mr. Big from old Sex and the City, Briggs. That sounds really good. The next one is kind of like an occupational one. It's the name Ranger. So a ranger is somebody who looks after a park or goes around outdoorsy. It's a bit like hunter has become so popular now. Why not ranger? It works really, really well. Silverton came up, again a bit of a surname as first name, but what's cool about this name I quite liked was it's got the colour vibe as well, so Silverton sounds really, really good. And I think when we like these O-N endings, we've got a lot of O-Ns in here, or N ending names. I've got an N, I've got a Finn, and it's a really lovely kind of soft but sort of completing sound at the end, isn't it? This next one I think you guys are gonna love. So last week we talked about the name Renlow for a girl, and everyone really, really liked it. It wasn't the number one, I'll tell you the number one next actually. But then for boys, somebody put Renlow. I think that works, obviously it can be for boy or girl, but Renlow sounds really, really good. Renlow, I just thought that sounded so good. I'm gonna put that on my personal list. It's going on. I'm not even having another baby, but I'm gonna put Renlow on there. And for girls, you know, midway through this list, the most popular girl name from last week was the name Mavery. So it was kind of a mashup of Avery and Maeve. Maeve is becoming so popular, it's really rising up through the charts. And everyone just absolutely went wild for Mavery. So what do you think of Mavery? That was the number one most liked made up name from last week. So do the same for the boys. Let me know below one of these from this list that you like the most. Then I will release our channel, YouTube's first ever baby name release. I don't know, it should be more important than the Office of National Statistics, I'm sure. Two made up names. So imagine if we'd knocked off Oliver and Olivia with Renlow and Mavery. So somebody has a friend who is called Wesley, which is the name we all know, and so she thought, how about Eastleigh? So I thought that sounded so good, Eastleigh. It sounds good, doesn't it? Eastleigh, yeah, I can see that definitely being used. Somebody also has a friend who is called Druid, so I wanted to put that on there. It's kind of like a, if you're here, you might be a bit hippie-ish, you might be a bit out there looking for a wild name, and Druid certainly is that. They call him Drew for short, which is a very normal name, so it's quite cool. If he was, you know, didn't want to be called Druid, I mean, why not? He could go by Drew, but in Welsh it means wise, and in French it means manly, according to this viewer. Yes, I think it's a really lovely one. It's got that spiritual heritage, as she says, so I think it works really, really well. How about Graylin? So Grayson I really like, and it actually was just now, but like I know a couple of Graysons, so I couldn't even put it on my list because it would have just been a total copy. But Graylin I could have, and I quite like it. So that was a mashup of Grayson and Kaylin, but Len is just a good ending. Obviously you wouldn't go with the nickname Len, you'd go with the nickname Gray because you're not crazy. The name Cove, I googled this and it was actually on quite a few little forums. People are talking about it. So Cove, Aspen and Parkins had a little girl named Cove, and I think the name is absolutely gorgeous. I also know a boy named Cove. So how about Cover with a K as a bit of a different way of doing it? We seem to really be into that sort of sound at the moment. Albion was such a cool one, Albion. So Albie is gaining popularity as a nickname name for Albert, of course. We liked Albie. We have a Frederick who goes by Freddie, so you can definitely have an Albert who goes by Albie. But I'm now talking about something totally different because this name is the name Albion. Albion. I think it's really good. So what's interesting about this, apparently it is an old word for Great Britain. So in ancient times, Great Britain was called Albion, and this viewer always remembered that and thought it sounded like a really great name. And I really agree, especially if you're a creative writer or something, Albion, or you're looking for a traditional name but you just don't want to be like really classic. Albion works really well. Tovin came up, so Tobin is a great name and I love it. I like Tobias as well, but I thought that sounded really good, Tovin, putting the V in there as well, Tovin. You could reinvent Kevin with Tovin if you've got a Kevin somewhere in your family that you want to honour, so it's a really great name. So Coney, as in Coney Island, somebody suggested, and I always thought that looked really cool, and I've always wanted to go to Coney Island, so I just thought I would put it on there because it's a place I'd love to go to. Daedron, so somebody has a really dear friend's son who is called Daedron. I think that's how you pronounce it, or Dardaron. Daedron. It's a bit like Adrian, and I really like the name Adrian. I think it's one of those traditional but underrated names, and I'm gonna do traditional but underrated boy and girl names for my next couple of videos, and they're really good lists, and there's things like Adrian, like, oh yeah, that's a really great name, haven't heard that for a long time. But Daedron, if you're looking for something a bit more unique and made up. And then the last two are a couple of sort of element names. So how about bronze for a boy? So colour names are so popular for boys and for girls, and bronze is a great idea. The only thing with it is a bit like, you know, bronze is known as like the third prize, so I was a bit like, oh my gosh, I might be a bit sad if I was called bronze. I'd be like, I want to be called Goldie. But bronze does sound nice and looks super duper nice. Or the name cedar. I think this works so well. Obviously cedar is a type of wood, so it's got that nature vibe to it as well. Cedar. And that works really well. Like, where's my plant? My plant's called Cecil. He's not called Cedar, but he's called Cecil, and I really like the C, Cedar. I think that's a really good recommendation. So, thank you so much for listening to this list. Sorry, I just knocked you over. I was like, I'm done. Mic drop. But next week I'm doing a collab with a lovely YouTuber vlogger who is expecting triplets, and she's asked me to help her name them. So of course I jumped at the chance. It's just crazy. It's really exciting. So I'm working on some triplet names for her, and then those traditional name lists. So if you are naming a child, or if you want to pop your own name as a suggestion for a traditional but underused name, then do that over on the community tab. Happy Monday. I'm so glad I got to chat to you guys today, and I will see you again. And later on in the week I'm doing a really exciting thrifting video. I have been thrifting my Anthropology wish list all January, and I would love it if you came and watched that. So I'll see you then, hopefully Thursday. Bye guys.